Before I started to construct my music video, I did do some research into my music genre of pop. I found the typical conventions of a music pop video included the genre of the narrative plot as well as close-ups of the protagonist's face, narrative-based videos, special effects, lip-syncing, and various images and footage like nature are put in within the music video. Therefore, I felt these conventions were important to include into the production to make sure the video is realistic to the music genre. The conventions I used in my media production included lip-syncing. I felt this was the most important to include as the majority of all music videos contain lip-syncing. In addition, I felt it helped tell the narrative story as the plot created in the filming at different locations fit the song lyrics. The lyrics lip-synced in these scenes included "Go play a video game." These lyrics fit the plot as the protagonist is sitting with her boyfriend in his bedroom while he plays his video game. He's ignoring her even though she sings about trying to entice him with perfume and his favourite sundress. Another convention I used was camera shots. I did use a tripod when filming shots in London as I wanted these shots to look like home video the protagonist had taken. This is similar to Lana's production for video games where a lot of the footage shots are handheld. This camera effect was very effective for my production as I wanted the London scenes to be a video montage and the shaky effect enabled it to look like the protagonist had filmed it herself and therefore more homemade. The mise-en-scène of my production was conventional as there was various costume changes for each location. In addition, the props used like beer cans and pop cans are very conventional for music videos. I use these props as the song lyrics "Open Up a Beer" indicate the theme of alcohol, and how she does all these things for him like open up a beer and let him play his video game. It allows him to ignore her, but she does this as she needs him in her life. It's quoted from the song lyrics, "It's you, it's all for you." During the creation of my production, I realised some conventions of the music videos could be developed. When editing my video, I decided to edit a harsh contrast between the bedroom scenes and other locations. I did this as I wanted to create a dramatic and apparent effect of the different emotions the protagonist felt in each location. I took inspiration from Beyonce's "If I Were a Boy" video, as I felt they both had similar plots of a man hurting them and destroying their relationship. The black and white effect amplified the depressed emotion felt. Other music videos that use the black and white edit include the very famous Madonna's Vogue. I developed on the contrasting convention from Lana's video as the shots of her singing in front of the blank canvas and in the bedroom are black and white. I felt Lana used the black and white contrast to show her emotion when singing certain lyrics to the song. This is why I decided to use the black and white contrast when my protagonist sang the same song lyrics. The lyrics "Watching me get undressed, take that body downtown" suggests the darkness she experiences. However, I did develop it further by turning many of my scenes black and white to show the sad, depressed emotion she felt when her boyfriend ignored her. I challenged the conventions of a pop music video with the locations I used. I used 4 various locations for the production, including London, a floral garden, bedroom in a house, and castle locations. Although the bedroom scene is a common convention of a music video, however, the floral garden scene is an uncommon convention as many pop music videos are located in houses or bars or other various random locations. I felt the garden scene was important to include in the music video as I felt it fit the plot purpose I had, which was to create another dream world she wanted to be opposed to the reality of being stuck with her boyfriend. Another way I challenged the conventions was using dissolves in my editing. I used dissolves during the video montage scenes in London and pans of a castle and its grounds. I felt the dissolves fit the song's pace as the song is slow paced and therefore there was no need for fast paced editing cuts always. However, this is a challenge to the music video convention as in Lana's version there is only fast paced editing cuts. I felt it was relevant to use dissolves in my production during the video montage scenes to make the video look homemade. In addition, I used editing dip to white when the scene's location changed to either London or the grounds and buildings to make it look like the protagonist was thinking to this as a dream and a memory. The 2 artefacts created did use the conventions of a real media product, as I made sure I included the copyright information as well as a barcode on the CD back, as well as putting the CD and its price, as well as release date information on the promotional poster digipack. I felt these conventions were key to include as they are common on most, if not all, real media products, therefore making mine look realistic. However, I did develop on some conventions of a promotional poster as I did decide to put on the artist's Facebook page, making the poster more informative and interactive as people were able to click the link onto the artist page, giving them more information. I challenged the conventions of a real print artefact when making my CD layout. I decided to use 2 superimposition screenshots from the main production video. Both shots were images combined from screenshots of the floral garden and London. Many CD images for the genre of pop aren't normally superimpositions. However, I thought this edit was very effective as it showed the combination of different locations I used in my music video. Once my main music video production was completed, I had to create 2 print artefacts. These included a digipack for my album's release and a magazine advertisement for the digipack. I created both artefacts on the software PicMonkey, which was very easy and simple to use. I thought it was very important to have a running theme throughout the 3 productions so they were recognisable to each other. Therefore, I used similar effects off PicMonkey throughout. The use of fonts and text in the productions were very similar. I used the same colour font of white on my main production and 2 print artefacts. However, I didn't use the same font I used on my main production compared to the 2 artefacts. This was because the font I used on my main production was fancy with quite curly handwriting and therefore didn't suit the 2 print artefact text, as the background of them made the font hard to read. Therefore, I went for a bolder and plainer font, making the writing easier to read. However, I didn't feel that this will affect the continuity between them, as the running colour theme of white helps to tie them all together. All of the images used in my 2 print artefact text are screenshots from my main production. This helps to combine all 3 of my productions as images used for the CD and poster are in the music video. In addition, it applies that the 2 print artefacts are the essence of the main production. My CD print and promotional poster feature the protagonist on the front. I did this purposely as most secondary productions of music videos have the main character as its focus. It helps to combine all 3 productions as they are recognisable to one another. The front of my CD print features the main girl protagonist holding flowers. The front cover is similar to that of Lana Del Rey's version where the theme of flowers is shown. However, she has a floral band in her hair and my version shows the girl holding flowers. The CD covers share similar conventions that the 2 main protagonists are on the front as well as the floral theme. However, they differ as Lana's cover is quite neutral, with Lana Del Rey featuring on the front with wavy hair swept to the side and a flower band in her hair. This floral band brings colour to the CD as the background is a neutral nude, meaning Lana stands out with her bright orange hair and accessories, whereas my front cover is brighter in the lighting but with fewer colours. The main colour theme of white roses matched with the white font. This makes the CD eye-catching as even though the background is quite busy, its focus pulls slowly on the artist, meaning people can easily know who it is advertising. For the digipack poster, I decided on the image of the protagonist walking through the location of the floral garden. I chose this image as I felt it was recognisable to the production, as many of the scenes in the music video are of the protagonist walking through the floral garden. The image used was effective as the colours of the flowers contrast with the girl's bright purple dress. However, I wanted to exaggerate this and therefore tried different lighting shades on PicMonkey. I used the softening tool for the background as the original image had a dull grey sky. I also slightly blurred the background and created a focus point on the girl to make her stand out on the slightly blurred background. The colour of the flowers were originally quite light, as that when the picture was taken the sun was reflecting on them. However, I did over-exaggerate this brightness to add the blurred effect. I made sure to include my CD cover on the poster to make it recognisable and an effective combination of all 3 productions. Most of the shots for the 2 print artefacts include floral arrangements. This was because the pot was one of the main focuses of my production. The colours of the flowers made for a very colourful poster and CD, which was the effect I wanted, as the music video's main focus is the contrast between the dull and bright worlds she experiences. The software PicMonkey allowed me to manipulate the images to the way I wanted them to look. I used the same softening tool on the artefacts, which was the same as the brightening edit I used on some of the music video footage on Adobe Premiere Pro. I did this so all the images had the same finish. I felt the softening tool was very effective as it brightened up all the images which were what was needed as many had a dull finish off the camera due to the weather when filming all the shots. The software helped me create the same tone and colour on all of the images as well as the main production. The audience feedback involved my peers watching my music production and then filling in a questionnaire. As the pie chart shows, the feedback was generally very positive, and 3 out of 10 people asked stated my music video portrayed high imagination and creative flair. The feedback was very useful as it helped me improve the music video. Here are some of the quotes I received from the audience feedback. The quotes suggest what they liked and what could be improved in my music video and my 2 print artefacts. The general feeling on how the production could be improved was I could have edited more effectively on brightness and contrast. The scenes in the bedroom I edited to become a very monotone black and white. I did this as I wanted the contrast between these scenes and the other location scenes to be very apparent. This was because the plot narrative behind my music video was to show how the girl protagonist was stuck in the dull bedroom getting no attention from her boyfriend and actually belonged and dreamed to be in the other locations, hence why I made the bedroom scenes black and white compared to the other light bright scenes. However, people on the feedback form do suggest I could have edited the bedroom scenes to make them softer than the black and white tone, implying I should have made the edit less harsh. A way I could have made the bedroom scenes less dark would be to use a different tool on Premiere, such as the brightness and contrast tool, which would enable me to make the black and white edit less harsh. However, I did choose not to change the harsh edit, as I felt it made the contrast apparent between the dull dark bedroom scenes to the other places. She was happy to be like London. It was also suggested on the feedback forms the talking in the background of some parts of the music video could have been clearer.
Baby, now you do. Now you do.
These talking segments aren't what I purposely put in, but are in fact part of the song the artist Lana Del Rey created. I did raise the volume slightly at these sections to make it less muffled. However, it was only meant to be part of the ambient sound on Lana's actual music video, and therefore I didn't want to focus on it as I didn't put it there for a specific reason. It was just part of the artist's song. I put on a YouTube clip of an 8mm camera effect over the top of the scenes in London and the garden scenes to make the locations look dreamy. In addition, I used the edge feather effect on Premiere to make the scenes stand out as a dream opposed to the reality scenes back in the bedroom. The effect was received well on the audience feedback forms, suggesting it added to the contrast between the scenes, which was the effect I wanted to create. The audience feedback forms for my 2 print artefacts were very positive. They liked the range of images used and the continuity they showed, as each gave the same vibe the music video production gave. The only negative comment was the writing on the promotional poster. Although it was bold, it was a bit unclear to read due to the flowery background it was on. Therefore, I experimented with different font colours, but decided to use white, but made the poster background slightly darker, making the font easier to read as opposed to before. Another comment made on ways to improve the promotional poster was to have the available on iTunes logo, which is a common convention of poster promoting albums. Therefore, I added this logo on, as well as adding the artist's Facebook page, making the poster more informative. The CD layout was also received well from the audience feedback forms. People liked the softening tool I used on all the images, as it brought out a running theme of dreamlike locations in the music video. I did create 2 possible options for the front cover of the CD print. The first had a background of the protagonist in with the flowers, but had bolder writing in a bigger font size, and all the writing was located at the bottom of the CD, whereas option 2 was the same images for the background, but the font size was relatively smaller and the artist's name appeared at the top of the CD and the name of the album at the bottom, spacing the information out. I put both covers to the audience feedback, and the majority insisted the second option was better, and I agree. The second print was more effective as the information was easier to read and didn't overpower the CD cover like the first one did, as it was bigger and bolder font. The audience feedback for the CD print was useful as it helped me decide which font cover was most effective for my album. The back of the CD was received well by the audience, as they suggested all the codes needed for a CD back was there. I felt it was important to put the conventions like barcodes as well as copyright details on the back to make it look as realistic as possible. In addition, I also decided to add the record company logos as a code for the CD back. I put the logos on as part of the copyright section as it shows who the album belongs to. In addition, I decided to include the small prints of the logos, as many find logos recognisable and therefore can identify which record label was part of the production. Looking back in reflection on the audience feedback, I agree with the comments made and would make the improvements of making some of the scenes less black and white, as well as improving the fonts on the print artefacts. One I used, which was very beneficial for planning and research, was Blogspot. I used Blogger as a tool to upload and present what work I had done in order to create my production. It includes vast research I did before I started the production. The blog was very useful as it enabled me to use it as a reference point for the work I'd done during the creation of my production. In addition, this digital platform meant I was able to embed my digipack CD layout and promotional poster as a digital image, as well as putting the video on and being easily accessible to play. Blogger acted as a diary, as I was able to constantly update ideas I'd had, showing the progression I'd made. To create my two print artefacts, I used softwares PicMonkey and Adobe Photoshop. However, I mainly used PicMonkey as I was more familiar with the tools used to create the effects I wanted, opposed to Photoshop, which I used to set the layout for my CD. PicMonkey enabled me to lighten all the images used by using effects such as auto, making the images more textured and more glazed over as opposed to being really bright. I also used blurred effects such as focus pulls to blur the background of the poster, making the protagonist the main focus of the poster. Another piece of hardware I used during the creation of my main production was a small Sony HD camera. I was allowed to rent these cameras out from my sixth form, so I was able to film the scenes in various locations as opposed to being restricted to on-site locations. The HD cameras were very useful to film as they had all the appropriate controls I needed, such as zooming in and out. I learned how to use the device when filming the preliminary, which was very useful as I learned a lot of the controls then, which enabled me to film more efficiently when creating this music video. Equipment I used included a tripod when filming my production, which allowed me for a more professional look. It allowed for a steady camera shot, as well as smooth pans and zoom in and out, opposed to it being more like a freehand effect. Using the tripod made the filming process a lot easier and gave my shots a better effect as the frame was steadier. I used Adobe Premiere Pro to create my edit for my final production. This software was very easy to use and allowed me to use more effective editing techniques than other devices like Movie Maker, which had less editing transitions. I uploaded the footage from the camera onto the Mac, then imported it onto Premiere Pro. I could then choose the footage I wanted to be included on the timeline. I used video transitions such as Dissolve to make the edit smoother, as well as using the speed up edit to make sure the miming of the protagonist fit the song I uploaded onto the timeline. I used YouTube as part of the media technology during the planning and creation stage. Planning wise, I used it to analyse music videos as well as taking inspiration from them, whereas I used it when creating the production as I wanted an effect to put over the top of some of the scenes in my production. When I found the effect I wanted, I downloaded it onto Keepvid so I could then import it onto Adobe Premiere Pro. The 8mm effect I wanted was very effective for my production, as it helped create some scenes look more like a memory and dreamlike. And this, coupled with another effect off Premiere Pro called Edge Feather Effect, makes for more dramatic scenes. I used Microsoft Word to create my audience feedback questionnaire for my evaluation. I used this as it was a simple software to create a questionnaire. As well as Word, I used Microsoft Excel to input data from my two questionnaires I created. The graphs were very useful as they were easy to read and understand, as well as making it easier to compare statistics for each question. When creating my director's commentary for my evaluation, I used QuickTime Player, which recorded the screen, allowing me to show a step-by-step guide to how I created different effects using Premiere for my video, as well as showing how I made my print artefacts. I also used Premiere Pro to create this director's commentary.